YouTube. I know it's been some time since I kicked a video on out to you guys. I was actually waiting for an opportunity to go shooting and test a new firearm I had purchased. Unfortunately, the buddy that I'm supposed to be going with, he's taking way too long. He's busy with work and got to make that money when you can, so haven't had time. And recently I picked up a new rifle, added a solid hunting rifle to my cabinet back there in the corner, and I just wanted to do a quick review on it, just a quick unboxing review. It's already unboxed, so I won't actually be unboxing it, but just a quick review to sort of talk about the things I like about it, my experience, and and a few of the things that bothered me about the purchase of the firearm, as well as dealing with the gun stores and so forth. Everybody who knows anything about California knows that it's a little bit difficult to own a firearm out here. Just a little bit difficult. So, anyway, this year was the first year for the FSC, or Firearm Safety Certificate, where rifles are concerned, or long guns. And it's been some time since I've purchased a firearm, so I had to go through that. It ended up costing me a little bit extra to do, but now I'm covered for 2 years or a year or something like that. Anyway, initially I was looking at rifles, and I spent a solid 3 months really taking the time to think about what I wanted. Do I want a Savage Arms, or a Remington, or a Tika, or a Howa, and all of these firearms were all on my list of what do I want. And in the end, I was sort of settled on, I'm going to get a Remington because I know Remington, I trust Remington, I like Remington. And so initially I went in to pick up a Remington 783, which, and I wanted it chambered in .308 because it's a simple round with not a lot of variance, and, doesn't have too many options. I become a victim of options if I have too many options. So, I sort of had my heart set on one of those. It was kind of a budget rifle. I was sort of money tight on what I wanted to get, and I wanted to be able to afford to put some real nice glass on it. And so I was looking into one of those, even though there were a few things I didn't like about them. And not that it's a bad rifle, so anybody that loves their Remington 783, I'm not trash talking you, they're just things that I personally didn't like about it. And so anyway, the gun store local to me didn't have one, so I put a deposit down on a Remington 783 chambered in .308, and on faith and trust for the company. About 2 months went by. This was November, December of last year, and I think my pickup was going to be in January or something, but it just kept taking forever. So at some point in January I went in and I said, so what's the scoop? And I got a lot of I don't knows. We'll call our suppliers, etc., etc., etc. They came back with a we don't know, it shouldn't be long. And I got home and I was a little skeptical of the information, and I guess if I believed everybody that said trust me, I'd have a garage full of snake oil right now. So I decided to give Remington a call at their headquarters and ask a few questions, and as it turned out, they didn't have any plan to come out of the assembly line for months. So went back in, informed the gun store of what was actually going on, which they were oblivious to, of course. And of course they weren't going to charge me any restocking fees, having waited 2.5 months already. So I decided that I would go better and go for a Remington 700, but I didn't want to spend as much as a wood-stocked Remington 700 was going to cost, and I don't really like wood stocks. Don't get me wrong, they're good. I like solid stocks. I didn't want something that heavy, especially if I was going to be traipsing around in the woods. It just didn't seem like the top of my list to have. So I settled on picking myself up a Remington 700 ADL, and I wanted it in .308. Of course, they couldn't get a hold of one, but they did have one in stock chambered in .30-06. They put it in my hands, it felt nice, and I fell in love with it. So I went ahead and transferred my deposit over to that. And a couple, 10 days later, I picked up my ADL, and I haven't gotten a chance to take it out and shoot it. The weapon's completely virgin at this point, and like I said, I wish I had a shooting video for you guys. Otherwise, I would have done that already. I'm just waiting on my buddy. And but so far, I love it. There are a few pros and cons, or what I feel are pros and cons. Maybe not everybody will agree with me, but anyway, here is my Remington 700 ADL. Little information about this firearm that may not be readily available everywhere. The Remington 700 ADL sports its own Remington 700 ADL barrel. It's not the standard Remington 700 barrel. The action is a Remington 700 classic action, the action that we've come to know and love from Remington. And the trigger assembly is their patented version of the adjustable trigger. Comes in dialed at 3 pounds trigger pull. There's literally no take up. It's gorgeous. The action on it is smooth and perfect. It's not even oiled yet. It's brand new. Perfect. I mean, I literally haven't even, I've done nothing but handle the gun by hand so far. Some of the other considerations on this rifle is it has a blind box magazine, and though I don't love the blind box magazine, it's something that can be changed out with a replacement stock, which I may one day do if I feel inclined to do so. One of the other cons, as I see it, is the trigger guard, which is made out of plastic. I'm not a big fan of plastic trigger guards. You know, this is an area where, you know, you're likely to bump it on things, and it's not the most likely place you'll hit, but it's possible. And I tend to like more solid trigger guards, but you know, it doesn't have all of the fittings that the Remington 700 has. The beautiful part of it is it is a screw-in piece, so it is replaceable, and it's something that you can get a new one on with a new stock. 2-position safety. Two-position safety. It does have a slight clicking to it. I think you can baby it forward, yeah, with a lot less noise. Not that I see it as being a massive deal unless you're real close to what you're planning to shoot. Has the super soft or super cell buttstock pads, which, as we know, take up the vast majority of the recoil that comes off of this firearm. The glass is, in fact, I just got off the phone today with Remington. The glass is most likely an Asian import. It's stamped as Remington on one of the on the turret adjustment, but it is like entry-level glass. You know, we're talking like $50-$60 territory glass. I will probably do some of the initial firing off of this since it comes as part of a package and is pre-bore sighted to this weapon. But I do intend to change it out. I may go Vortex, I may go Redfield, I may go Nikon. It really just depends on what I end up using it for, and since I may be doing some nighttime stuff with it eventually, that's a consideration that is not a normal consideration for me, or won't be a normal consideration for me, but for the purpose of what this rifle may get used for, I may need it for that. So, and I know it's a little bit of a cumbersome sentence structure, but basically what I'm saying is I may have a trip coming up where I'll be shooting mostly at night and therefore may need a set of glass that has good clarity and soaks in enough light at nighttime, but that probably for the life of this rifle will be one of the few times that I use it for that purpose. Not really many other cons to it. The synthetic stock is pretty solid. I like the free floated barrel. I like it's got a traditional recoil lug, traditional barrel threading, and it's just an all-around solid weapon. You know, and no complaints. So one of the other bits of information about this that you won't find readily available everywhere on the internet is this particular model is a 1 in 10 twist, and that becomes important for anybody who's using monolithic bullets, lead-free bullets, eco bullets, you know, however you want to call it. But anybody who's using lead-free projectiles will need to know that information because it plays into the type of rounds that you can stabilize. And this is about a lot of information that's just not out there right now. But it will be eventually, and it's because the ammunition market is changing, especially in California, where they're banning the use of lead core ammunition for hunting in condor areas. And I do personally believe they'll go after lead core ammunition everywhere, so that's why I say that. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this information. You can look forward to a good shooting video coming up in the future, and if you have any questions, shoot me a message, throw up a comment, and I'll do my best to answer them. Alright, bye.